Hello everybody and welcome back to another 1.21 showcase video. A couple weeks ago I showed you my concept for an Ender AUTOMINER, and now I have made the EnderMiner. As you can see, it has a basalt farm, a cobblestone farm, and a warped tree farm. But it also has this secret capability for a concrete converter. This system revolutionizes all types of auto miners no longer needing TNT dupers for stuff to work. Not only do these farms work, but you can also add in any other blast chamber type materials by just feeding it in from like the top, or if you don't want a tree farm, just from the side. But that's not all, because not only am I showing this off, but I'm also giving you a build tutorial. I don't know how to segue nicely into this segment, so I'm just going to start out with the basic structure of the miner. Basically, just build a 3x3 of stairs, like so. And they shouldn't technically be needed, but just in case, I would suggest putting obsidian behind those just so stuff doesn't accidentally break. Then we'll be adding the overflow protection walls. These do a relatively good job of keeping all the items where they're supposed to be. While you're at it, you might as well add the concrete converter AFK spot right here, and at this point the walls should be looking like this. Here, go ahead and add a line of stairs, and here a line of hoppers. This would go to your storage system. It can be as fancy as you want, but I'm just putting a chest here for example purposes. Then over on this side, place another line of glass, and over here some as well. And then on those, put some signs. It should be mentioned that you can use pretty much any building block instead of the glass. I'm just using glass for visibility purposes. Now it's time to build the cobblestone generator. So what you're going to want to do is place a line of pistons going this way, placing target blocks there, and you do need target blocks for this. Adding glass here, like that, and then adding lava right here, and water right there. And for the time being, you might want to patch that up, just so it doesn't spill. Right here, you'll want to add some building blocks to put your redstone on, and then actually put the redstone on it, and then add some pistons. Diagonal to these target blocks, you're going to want to add another row of tuff, and then extend it 2 extra blocks, and then 1 down. Add redstone to all of that, and then add 2 observers going up into a block. For safety purposes, you might want to add a row of obsidian there, just in case. And that's the cobblestone farm section all done. Okay, next we will be building the basalt farm. So first, you want another line of soul sand. Build up 2 blocks and place a protective layer of glass 2 blocks wide, like that. From this block here, you're going to want to go 2 blocks back and place a piston in that block. There we go, a sticky piston. And put a line of them right there. And then on the sticky faces, add blue ice. From there, just add glass on top of the blue ice, cap off the ends, and then add your lava. That will make the first basalt. Now for the redstone, you're going to want to go 2 blocks below the blue ice, make a line right there, then add redstone on top of that. After that, you're going to want to put target blocks underneath the pistons so that they can actually get powered. And then add another line of tough blocks like this. And add redstone on those 2. If you're worried about your farm timings being off and everything breaking, just simply add 2 lines of obsidian there and right there, and that should be enough to stop any possible breakages. Before we add in our last farm, I'm going to be adding in the clock that runs the whole thing. So for that, over on the cobblestone side, go back up 1 block and continue that line 3 blocks before lowering it by 1, and then immediately going back up and continuing that line all the way over to the basalt. On top of that line, you'll want to put a repeater set to 2 ticks right here, and then redstone on top of all the rest. Another safety thing you might want to add is protective blocks right here, just so you don't fall off by accident. Always good to have just in case. But continuing with the clock, you're going to want to add a tough block there, a lever here, and continue this line 2 more blocks. At the end, you're going to want to put a torch on that last block and build down 1 block and then another block diagonally below the torch and place redstone. Off that redstone, you're going to want to place a sticky piston right up there with a redstone block attached. And right next to that redstone block, you're going to want to place another sticky piston going into it. Diagonal from that piston, you're going to want to build a little shape like this, pick out that corner block, place redstone there, and then add your comparators on these blocks right there, like this. Lastly, for the clock, you're going to want to place a hopper there, then come over here, break this hopper, and replace it so that they feed right into each other. In the hoppers, you're going to want to place 3 items, and for lag protection, you're going to want to add composters. That part isn't necessary, but it helps if you got a lot of lag in your world. To connect the clock to the rest of the system, you're going to want to place an observer right there, and then you're almost done. For the tree farm, you're going to want to build out 2 blocks from the platform on this side and place a warped or crimson millium. It doesn't matter, but depending on what color you place down here is the color of tree you'll grow. Make sure they're in a diagonal pattern and then place 2 dispensers like that. Then right here you add whatever type of storage you want for the bone meal and set up an observer clock right here. To get rid of those constant clicks, I suggest that you add an off switch right here, the lever on top, so that you can turn on and off the farm. Now over here, you can add 3 pistons. This will be what pushes all of your logs into the mining chamber. Unfortunately, the system can only do 3 rows of blocks because the system doesn't delete blocks that are up here, only ones in this 3 tall place. To hook up the tree farm to the rest of the system, you're going to want to come over by the basalt and over here, where you're going to add 8 blocks in this direction and place redstone on top of all of them. Then back over here by the tree farm, you're going to want to go up 1 block, over another block, place a repeater here. Has to be a repeater or else the clock will constantly trigger everything else, and that's not good. And then another redstone right there. And then finally, right next to the crimson nylium, you're going to want to place a block right there. And then 2 blocks above that, you're going to want to add a line of 2 blocks right there. From your repeater, you're going to want to put 1 block right there, and another block right next to it. From here, you're going to add a repeater at the top piston, where it's going to be set to 2 ticks. And then in the below section, you're going to want to put 2 repeaters, each only at 1 tick. And to finish it off, you're going to want to place 3 redstone dust, connecting the first repeater to all the others. And in order to get the farm actually running, be sure to have a stable stock of bone meal, as this machine kind of burns through it pretty quickly. Optionally, you can add switches that go to each of the individual farms that can disable them all individually. See if that goes there. Even though this redstone dust gets powered, the rest doesn't get continued onto the farm. Same story over here with the same simple setup. That redstone line gets severed. That signal can't transfer through this block, so the cobblestone farm's off. And to get the system actually working, you're going to want to set up similar to this in your overworld. Of course, your portal will probably be in a stronghold, not just out in the open randomly, but this is the best place to actually show off the mechanics. So it doesn't quite matter how exactly you do this, but the core concept is that all those farms will operate off of this system, just a dropper facing into anywhere in the end portal. It doesn't really matter. With a bunch of backlog items, I would suggest you do iron nuggets, especially if you have an iron farm, because a stack of blocks turns into 9 stacks of iron nuggets, So it's pretty cost effective. However, if you do hook up your system to an auto smelter, I would suggest that you add in your filler blocks as the block that you're smelting, just so that you don't get any complicated, you know, item backups. So the main clock operates off of this 4 repeaters going into a comparator that loops back in on itself. I've just found that this is the best timing that works for those specific farms with that specific timing. Depending on what you do, you can fine tune it. And if you want to convert concrete with the machine, all you have to do is set up this little system. With this timing system, there is a bit of a delay between times when you can place and not. However, with this system, all your items will make it into your storage place. So let's test the system with turning that on and going back into the end. Something I did forget is you're going to want to add a little extra water there. It just improves item transport, I found. And now let's actually start up the farm. So when you operate it, you're going to want to come down here, get in here. I guess you don't actually need in here if you're going to run the farm with this clock, but just activate that. Oh, and I forgot to add redstone up there. Yeah, you do need redstone right there. And as you can see, once the blocks get to the middle, they look like they're about to collide, but they don't. And as you can see, the cobble and basalt farms are working pretty well. They never reach to the middle, which is a great opportunity for the, Crimson Tree farm to start, which we can start up right now. It's not the greatest. This is the fully automatic design, where trees will automatically grow and then get pushed. Unfortunately with this, all the blocks that get generated up here will just keep piling up, because Crimson Trees can and will just go through everything. I don't think they destroy blocks, but they do just go through them. However, if you don't want to wait for the trees to go themselves, and since you're not using the concrete converter, you can just come over here, maybe place down a little platform for yourself, and you can just hold right click, and hopefully that doesn't happen. And you can just plant all the stuff manually, and same story, it just goes into there and breaks. And that is the automatic farm aspect of the EnderMiner all out of the way. Before you leave the end, I would also suggest that you turn off the machine. I don't think it should break, but there's a chance that the lava stuff gets messed up, and that's no good, so better safe than sorry. Now we're going to be testing the concrete converter. So when you switch clocks, just turn off the first one, and then turn on the second one. If you do it out of order, it shouldn't really matter much, but, just don't have them both going on at the same time, because if they're desynced, that can lead to loss of efficiency. Okay, now for the concrete converter. So what you're going to want to do is aim at that final stair and just hold right click, and you can see that little delay between when you place the last block and when everything breaks. That's because the blocks are just more likely to actually reach over there before all the water disappears again and they stop flowing. Before I had it so that it did break pretty much instantly when you got over to there, but the items were only making it to around there, which wasn't ideal. If you did want to get rid of that delay, you can place hopper mine carts under here, and that would work. But I wanted to have one unified storage system for this system. So there you have it, the EnderMiner. As of upload, this should be possible to build in your Minecraft worlds. If you have any questions about anything or something wasn't made clear, let me know and I will try to assist. And with that out of the way, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.